Starting the show up. Sunday night Knicks. Do not change that dial. The New York Knicks have won a game. Yes, the New York Knicks have won a game. Destroying, upsetting the Spurs dynasty. 130 to 116. Knicks put the brakes on the tank, led by all of the Fizz kids. And get a win, man. CP from KnicksFanTV. My man Jake Lennick joins us on the Sunday night tilt. I mean, hey, whether you with the tank or you're not with the tank, Jake, you got to give credit where credit is due, man. This was a good game. This was a good game by the squad. So a lot of positives to go around, man. Where do you want to start with this one, man?
I mean, let's start with some positives. It's like you said, yeah, we got to win. You know, I would have been perfectly fine personally seeing us lose the rest of the season. I get what was at stake. You know, longest home losing streak. It's a point of pride for players, and it's good to see us beat a good team like the Spurs with the young guys. And you know, in terms of winning, it's a good way to see the team win because they did it with the young guns, and you saw a lot of good things from the guys that you want to see good things from. So I was fairly happy with tonight's win, despite how bad the Phoenix Suns look currently. So
Suns tank is a formidable tank, man. But 6 Knicks in double figures, led by whole team Dot, free Dot. A fan favorite of yours, a fan favorite of mine, a fan favorite of a lot of the fan base, man. Love seeing what Dotson is doing with those minutes that he's gotten from Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee's departure. It's finally his time, and 8 3-pointers, career high 27 points for Damyean Dotson. Got to give him his due today, man. He was sensational today, man.
Man, anybody that knows me knows I'm a big fan of Dot. Actually have a nice personal relationship with Dot. Met his acquaintance when he was a rookie in White Plains in the D League. And, you know, he's a super nice guy, an incredible guy. And as a player, I'm a big fan. I got a lot of material on him today to bring up. Maybe some discussion points that we'll get to.
All right.
Maybe we'll save it for a little bit and cover the game a little bit. But I got some bullet points for Dot.
No doubt. Yeah, Dot had a phenomenal game. Money Mitch, once again, Mitchell Robinson come to the stage. 10 points, 15 points, 14 rebounds, 5 block shots. I mean, what more can we say about this guy, man? He's been a steal of the draft, absolute steal of the draft. Lottery potential. Starting to come on strong, playing way more comfortably in the offense. They're finding him with the lobs now. The guards are getting him involved. I mean, speak on Money Mitch, man. What's your take on his play as of late?
All I can say is that it is very, very, very obvious that when he is in the game, the other team is aware of his presence. Like,
Facts.
The other team knows what's going on.
Facts.
Like, Mitch Robinson's out there. He's a beast. He's just an eraser. Like, he literally, nothing gets by him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you put up a shot and he's anywhere in the vicinity, he's getting a hand on it. He's putting up 15 points just by his inside game and being the athletic freak that he is. 14 boards. He's aggressive. I love seeing it. You know, the rawdy, I think, probably not a word, but it's clear. But again, he's young. He was a big time prospect coming out of high school, took the year off, obviously. And you could see the potential. If this guy ever gets anything resembling a jump shot, he's going to be dangerous. And he was hitting some big free throws at the end of the game.
Made his free throws. How about that? How about the rebound and no look to Kevin Knox for the dunk?
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, like that and the last play of the game when Dennis Smith Jr. stole the ball and had the dagger hammer off the backboard alley-oop to Mitch. That was some tough stuff, man. I love seeing that. You know, in the win, in such a tough season, it's tough for young players to go through this, especially
Facts.
like all the guys that we have. They're all big prospects, not used to losing, and you could kind of see a drain on them a little bit. Tonight, it looked like they had some fun, and in the middle of the Madison Square Garden, and you got to think that, you know, it gives them a little bit of positive going in. and going forward towards the end of the season.
Facts.
So
I mean, listen, man, I'm with you. I don't want to drop too far out of the tank. But Cleveland having won over the weekend, that puts us in an okay territory in winning this game. And 18 home losses straight. Hadn't won a home game since December 1st. I mean, listen, man, I wanted to see these guys get this win. They came out, they fought hard from the beginning to the end. And listen, this is one of their best wins of the season, man. This is one of their best wins of the season. How about, so we got into Mitch, another thing I like about Mitch, man, is just, if he's not blocking shots, he's altering shots. Like you said, his presence is always felt. You know what I'm saying?
You saw it with LaMarcus Aldridge a lot. When LaMarcus Aldridge was being guarded by Lance Thomas, who started tonight. I cannot believe what I saw.
I mean, we could get to him. I'll let you finish your point, but we got to give Lance his due as well, man. Go ahead.
When anybody else was guarding LaMarcus Aldridge, it kind of seemed like he was getting his way a little bit. He was getting disrupted a little bit here and there. I'll give the Knicks some credit, but there's nobody more effective in the post right now on defense than Mitch Robinson, and he's a scary sight to see, man. He's 7'1". He is a cold 7'1". He could jump 40 inches in the air. What player on the planet wouldn't be afraid to go against him? I think Zion, the monster that he is, would be afraid going against Mitch Robinson in the paint.
Money Mitch has arrived, man. So we talked about Dotson. We talked about Mitch. How about DSJ? 19 points. I believe 13 dimes for DSJ tonight. 6 rebounds. No turnovers. 8 of 17 shooting. This was his best game as a Knicks so far. I think complete game. This was a good game by DSJ.
I mean, you love to see the 13 assists, 0 turnovers.
Absolutely.
He definitely had some plays. I mean, again, that last play with the steal
off the backboard to Mitch, man.
Yeah, showed some great anticipation on defense. There's just one thing about Dennis Smith that worries me, and it goes into my point about Dotson a little bit. It might be a good segue into getting into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little bit worried about the efficiency of Dennis Smith Jr. We know he could get into the lane, in the paint. He could finish around the rim. I'm not saying he's an inefficient player, but in a league that's quickly growing from a perimeter game, it doesn't seem like Dennis Smith Jr. has a consistent enough 3-point game. He shoots a lot of these mid-range shots, and he gets in the paint. And when he gets in the paint, it's my favorite. But the mid-range shots kind of drive me a little bit crazy sometimes. And it's just something that I like. I would like to see him improve.
I agree with that. He definitely has to work on his shooting efficiency for sure. Tonight he was damn near 50%, 1 for 1 from 3. I love how he was finding Dotson, man. I love how he was finding Dotson with those driving kicks. Dotson right down the elbow. That's his spot, obviously. And knocking those down. DSJ had a great game, man. How about Kevin Knox? Kevin Knox along with Dotson. In that first half, they really put the team on their shoulders, man. Kevin Knox really tried to put a complete game out there tonight, man. I was happy with his performance as well.
Kevin Knox is a funny guy to me because there's 2 versions of Kevin Knox, and one I absolutely love, and one I can't say I hate it because he's young and he's got a lot of room to grow. But there's the aggressive Kevin Knox, and then there's the little bit of passive Kevin Knox. And, he's a rookie. He's the second youngest guy in the league. So you got to give him some credit where credit is due there. And hopefully he gets better. But there was one thing that I didn't like about Kevin Knox coming into the draft this year. And watching him at Kentucky last year, he had this move. And I always talk about the move that he had in college that wouldn't translate to the NBA was that when he got into the lane, instead of going in and trying to create contact and trying to get a foul called, he would fade away in the lane, and it would always result in a miss, and he does it often. But when he goes strong to the rim, maybe does a spin move, have that little hook in the lane, it's a great move. I love to see it. So there's 2 different versions of Kevin Knox. I just want to see him be more consistent, not necessarily on the stat sheet. He'll have good games. He'll have bad games. He's a young guy. I just want him to seem consistently aggressive. I need to see the hunger from him more often.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Definitely something he needs to work on. But for tonight, hey, listen, man, he maintained his aggressiveness throughout the game. 48 minutes.
Yeah.
48 minutes, man. So Knox tonight finished with, let's go to the box score. Knox tonight finished with 19 points, 10 rebounds. Good sign. Got on the boards. 1 block shot. 8 for 18. 1 for 6 from 3. Obviously, you want to see that improve as well. But
it happens.
Yeah.
Give him a pass for it.
Yeah, I thought Knox really helped us set the tone. How about another table setter? I think this guy reads the comments, man. I think Emmanuel Mudiay reads the comments because in the last game, fans were killing Fizdale for going with Mudiay, not going with DSJ. Why are they playing Mudiay over the kids? Hey, Mudiay set the table, man, with 17 first half points, man. Give credit where credit is due. Mudiay was on fire in that first half, man, and he really pushed us out to the lead.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know me. You know my opinions on Mudiay. I don't think he's part of the future and yada, yada, yada. But I could go on and on about that. That's not going to –
I'm just talking tonight's game.
No. I'm getting to that because that doesn't count for tonight. Tonight, in the first half, he could have been the best player. He could have went against Stephen Curry and been the best player on the court in the first half. He wasn't missing a shot.
Yeah, Mudiay was on fire, man.
He came in the game with a fire lit under him, and he looked good.
Yeah.
But in the second half – definitely cooled down. Only 2 points.
He fired up the tank. He fired up the tank in the second half.
You got to appreciate the self-awareness there.
Yeah, he fired up the tank in the second half, but Lance Thomas put the brakes on the tank. Spirited performance by Lance, man. I mean, like I said, he's another one that we like to trash on the show. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 for 4 from 3. Started tonight with DeAndre Jordan out. Started along with Vonleh. Didn't see much of Luke Cornett tonight. Didn't see much of Mario. It was Lance Thomas's game to lose, and he hit his shots. I saw him being real vocal in the huddle. I saw him, really leading the troops out there. Lance played well, man.
No, Lance did okay.
It's hard. It's hard to get that out. It's hard to get that out.
My teeth, like I can't.
Yeah.
Can't give him compliments. Like it's funny because. For anybody that listens to my podcast, they know that my brother and I, we just go back and forth about Lance. He's a big Lance apologist. I'm a big Lance hater. Been a Lance hater for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
He's the longest tenured Knick currently. He has been on this team longer.
The last of the Mohicans, the last man standing.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable, and I just don't know why we keep this guy on our team. He's so trash, but. Every once in a while, he'll have those moments that used to give Phil Jackson, a little, that's my guy right there. And he had that tonight, I guess. He played pretty good.
Lance was the anti-tank in military terms, the anti-tank.
He was the lieutenant general assembling the battle troops on the field
of the opposition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man, but listen, Lance had a good game. What else did I like here? Statistically, we shot 50% from the field against the Spurs.
It's always a good sign.
Always a good sign. 43% from 3. Total assists, 25 total assists to 6 turnovers. The assist to turnover ratio was great.
Oh, we killed them in that. The Spurs looked lost. They looked lost. It's actually a testament to our defense. I know that we let up 118 points or whatever, but that's mainly a lot of back and forth at the end of the game. Our defense was actually very solid today.
I thought the defense was great.
A ton of turnovers today.
The
Spurs couldn't get the ball in the post. We caused a lot of trouble for the Spurs. So
I thought the defense was great, man. I thought the rotations were good. I thought that they were playing very spirited ball for 48 minutes, man. They were really getting after it. And, a lot of that was Mitch. I thought a lot of that was Mitch.
Oh, yeah, he's the Energizer Bunny in the group. I definitely think that.
Yeah. A lot of sneaker squealing. Knox was getting after it. Dotson. How about Dotson and DeRozan having a moment? I was like, let's go, Dotson, man.
I like that.
I loved it, man. I loved it.
Dotson, he's a nice guy. I said he's a nice guy, but the guy's fiery. He's a competitor.
DeRozan's soft, man. DeRozan took umbrage to Dot getting rough with him, getting physical with him. I loved it, man.
DeRozan has a little bit of soft in him, he's got a soft spot for the Raptors. He won't speak out against the Raptors, even though they wronged him so badly.
He's too nice, man. He's too. That's why I'm glad we never got him, man. When we try to, They weren't too serious after him, but when he was a free agent, I'm glad we never got him. I wasn't too high on DeRozan. He's good for the Spurs, but not too high on DeRozan.
Well, any perennial All-Star would be good with the Spurs.
Yeah.
Popovich makes everybody better. It's just how it goes.
Absolutely.
But DeRozan's a nice player. If we got him and we paired him up with somebody else, I wouldn't have necessarily been bad. But if you think that DeMar DeRozan was coming to the Knicks and being the end-all be-all championship contender, you're crazy.
That would have never happened, man. That would have never happened. But that's our takeaways from the game. I mean, like I said in the beginning, whether you're with the tank or you're not with the tank, if you've been following this show game after game, if you've been watching game after game, you gotta appreciate a win every once in a while, Jake. You know what I'm saying?
It's good for us to remember what it's like. Sometimes we get so thirsty and dehydrated of wins that we get the taste of it, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is what we compete for. This is what we ultimately want. The idea of winning is ingrained in us, and we want to get Kevin Durant or whoever in free agency because we want to win. But sometimes we lose track of how that's actually accomplished, and it's with hard, gritty basketball. And when you actually see it come to fruition, it does some good for the soul.
True, indeed. And on top of that, it was led by the kids, man. On top of that, it was led by the kids. So
the kids and old-ass Lance Thomas.
And old-ass Lance. The elder statesman, the captain.
The eldest, he's like John McCain in the White House.
Can't lose, man. You can't get rid of him, man.
R.I.P. John.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's it, man. Sunday night Knicks. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got over 300 people in both chats. CP from the KnicksFanTV. My man Jake Lanick from the Knicks podcast in the building. If you're new to the chat, this is what we do, man. We talk Knicks news, Knicks rumors, and post-game live streams after every game. Taking your phone calls and just giving you our reaction, man. This is what it's about. So if you're a diehard Knicks fan, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get to our first caller of the night. Let's go to the phones. Who's up first? Will from LI wants to talk about the game tonight. He says he's happy about the win. Will, what's going on, man?
Let me tell you, y'all, this is why I'm a Knicks fan, okay? This team tonight had guts. This team tonight had passion, desire. This is why I'm a Knicks fan, okay?
Yeah.
And this has been a tough season, man. This has been a tough season, okay?
True.
I got my teacher calling me out in the middle of class with me wearing a Knicks hat. We got Q trying to go out with his lady, and then the comedians calling him out. Yo, let me tell you what happened, man. Today, yo, I'm at my house, and my girl calls me. She's like, oh, babe, let's go out. I'm just like, nah, I can't. I got the Knicks game. And then she tells me why. They just going to lose anyway. And I was like, you know what? All right, baby, I'm not going out. I'm over here FaceTiming her while I'm watching the game. We're both watching it. Now she's over here hollering and screaming and all this stuff. I was like, what I'm talking about. So listen, this is why I'm a Knicks fan. This team had guts.
It, man.
This team had desire. Everybody was out here. Even Moutier was out here. I respect it all. I love this win, especially against the Spurs. Listen, when you guys do the player ratings, I want to see some 10s. Yo. I don't know who you'll give it 10, but I need to see some 10s. Okay, don't be stingy with this one.
Hey,
right?
the man on the screen right now is going to get the 10, man, and appreciate the call, Will. I don't know if Will was happy that we won or that his lady still stuck by him for ditching her for the game, Jake. I don't know, man.
I think I have a different take on the whole situation. I think that he's happy that he proved his girl wrong. I mean, I always got a satisfaction from that when I used to be with my girl, so that was cool.
True indeed, man. True indeed. But Will's happy, man. Hey, listen, like I said, whether you with the tank or not, it was good to see. Good to see that you could actually go through a full game and actually, not regret it at the end. JJ from Brooklyn, what's good? He wants to talk about DSJ and whether he's the point guard of the future. JJ, what's good, bro? Yep.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing, man?
Good, man. How you feeling, bro?
What's up?
Pretty good. I just want to ask real quick about Dennis Smith. Do you guys say, we don't need to try and sign Kyrie or draft the Moran, or do you just look at Smith as like a trade chip? What do you think?
Sorry. Well, I would say this. I would say the number one target this offseason depending on where you are with it, is obviously Kevin Durant. Some of you might say it's Kawhi Leonard. I think that if they are going to go that route, I think you do need to try to get a Kyrie Irving because, like I say, Jake, if you're going to go after KD, your timetable is win now. It's not about development anymore. You're trying to put the pieces out there that's going to help you win.
Well, I think that there's
so then you would trade Smith, obviously, right?
You would try if you had a chance to get a Kyrie, then you would have to trade DSJ as a chip.
I agree with that mindset that like if you go after KD, you're definitely competing for now. KD's not coming to New York to not compete for a championship. That's just not going to happen. And if he thinks that it's like still rebuild mode in New York, he's not coming to New York, plain and simple. So if you get KD, it's win now.
Yeah, nobody's coming by themselves. It's going to be a package of two guys coming together.
There's definitely no shot of that. But I've been on the train saying that, like, after the Kristaps trade, you need to land either KD or Kawhi because those are the guys in free agency that are clearly better than Kristaps and make that trade, clearing up cap space, worth it. Yeah. So if we end up with one of those two, great, dandy, awesome. The thing that I've been torn on, and it's something I proposed to CP pre-show, is what do you think about this? If I said that I would prefer Kemba Walker over Kyrie Irving because he doesn't have the injury issues and they have very similar games, is that the hottest take ever, or am I not that crazy?
JJ, get at him, man. What do you say? What do you say to that, JJ?
Nah, man. I'd rather not even spend. If I don't get, Kawhi, Kyrie, or Durant, I'd rather just keep the cap space for whenever the better prices. Right? I don't want to spend it on Kemba or Tobias Harris. No offense, those guys are good players, but I don't want to be a 6 seed.
Let me ask
the whole thing, man.
But let me ask you this. When you factor in Kemba's game, first of all, he's putting up 6 stats. The guy's an all-star. He's unbelievable. He doesn't have the injury history that Kyrie Irving has, and he also keeps his mouth shut, which is good for New York. He doesn't have the media problems that Kyrie.
I would take Kemba if we got a Kawhi or KD. I would take that duo. I would take that over.
That's what I'm saying.
But I would probably do that.
Yeah, and also, I think I speak for all New Yorkers that Kemba in a Knicks jersey just gets my New York brain just rumbling.
No, it would be. It would be, man. And I get the apprehension of going after Kyrie Irving. I definitely get it. That was my apprehension as well in the beginning of the year. I just think, like I said, if you're going to go after KD, then you're trying to build a competitor, a win-now team now. Doesn't mean that DSJ can't be a backup point guard if you do get a Kyrie or even a Kemba, but I think if you're going to go after KD, then you almost make DSJ almost a backup plan. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a way to have all that talent on your team and compete now while also developing a system. I mean, the Spurs did it for years doing that. I mean, while they had Tim Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker, they were bringing up guys like Kawhi and Kyle Anderson and Jonathan Simmons. And, some of these guys didn't pan out, but they still had a decent little farm system going for them underneath the old guns that were competing for championships. So there's a way to do both at the same time.
Kind of transition. I hear that.
Exactly. And that's usually what good organizations do.
Yeah. I hear that. Listen, that'd be nice. I wouldn't bail on DSJ. Like I said, to me, if we strike out in free agency, I'd probably rather go with DSJ than go with another point guard in the draft. Like I said, if we're gonna strike out in free agency, I would just rock with DSJ and try to develop him. Let's go back to the phones. Nate from Rochester wants to talk about the game and sustainable success. Nate, how you feeling, bro?
You.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm great. With the game tonight, I just kind of want to touch on how we got contributions from all of our young guys in ways that I feel is something that we can build on. Because if you look at our games in earlier in the season from our other 11 wins, a lot of it would just be Moutier or even Trier or Tamari would just go nuclear, and they would just win off of ISO balls, them having ridiculous games. But you look at today, and we got contributions from Dash shooting from the 3. Mitchell was playing defense down low, and DSJ was dishing the ball, and all of that I feel is something they can do on a consistent basis Like, there's no reason why DSJ can't get to the paint and get a bunch of assists, or like Mitch can't just like get rebounds and get blocks all the time. And that's why I feel like we like Mitch so much, because like he does that on a night-to-night basis, and it seems like effortless for him almost. Like, he just doesn't have to like think about it.
And
like, I think that's just something that we should build on.
He's just getting started.
Keep looking at.
This is all off of raw ability. This is just off of raw ability.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a really refined basketball player yet,
Facts.
which is the scary part.
That's the scary part.
He's got such a high ceiling, man. Mitch can be a very good player for a very long time. And I'd say one of the better parts about Mitch Robinson is, like, he's a big guy, but he doesn't move like a big guy. He doesn't have like that limp to him that big guys have, that you kind of saw in Kristaps a little bit. Like, when he would run, he would have that stagger step. Mitch is light on his feet too. And that kind of bodes well for his knees and his ankles and all those problems that big men run into. So I think that the longevity of his career is real, and I think that he could be a good piece for a pretty long time.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't catch those nagging injuries, man. But, you know, to Nate's point, you got to like how this was led by the young boys today, man. And they moved the ball well. They shared the ball well. Like I said, like we said, 25 team assists. The defense was solid out there. I mean, this is a Spurs, man. This was a good game. This was a quality win. Quality.
All right.
Win.
I think I'm ready to bring up my question now, though. Right. I hinted at it a little bit earlier, but okay. I kind of can't hold it in anymore. So I talked about the efficiency aspect of the Knicks and Dennis Smith Jr. and like how he doesn't expand the range to 3-pointers, even though that's where the league goes. Still not discounting. He's a very, very good player. There's a lot of room to grow. He's still incredibly young, and he can develop that shot, and that's all good and dandy. But I do get a little bit worried because there's two guys that we rely on very heavily that don't really expand the range. I'm talking about Dennis Smith Jr. and ISO Zoe. ISO Zoe loves that mid-range, and you can't discount the fact that he loves to create his own shot, which is also a great skill to have in the NBA. So let's leave Dennis Smith Jr. out of the conversation because we kind of invested a lot into him by now, and we're going to keep him for the long haul, and I'm okay with trying to see him develop. But gun to head, if you had to choose between ISO Zoe and Dotson, who are you choosing?
Oof.
Dotson. 100%.
Right now, I got to go Dot
Definitely
because overall better defender.
See,
more proficient, more efficient from three-point land for sure.
See, that's the way I see it, man. Like, I think that a lot of people are very high on ISO, and I am too. I think ISO is a great player, but I think that we should really get into Dotson more because Dotson has a very efficient game. He's a catch and shoot shooter from three. He's a good 3-and-D player, which is such a valuable skill. He's long and lanky. He's got good size. He probably would have been a borderline first-round pick if he didn't run into some problems in college.
True.
All that transferring nonsense that happened.
True.
But I think Dotson's the guy. I think that he's a ticket for us. And if the Knicks are smart, they'll keep him, they'll use him, and he kind of reminds me. I mean, this is a stretch. Don't get me wrong, because I'm talking about all-stars now. But he kind of reminds me of like a poor man's Klay Thompson. The way he gets that shot off.
No, Jake. No way, man. No way. Appreciate the call.
Poor man's, all right? Relax.
Clay's I mean, listen, Dotson can shoot it now. Don't get me wrong. He had a nice night tonight, but Clay's an assassin.
I know he's an assassin. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he is Klay. I don't want to get that blown out of proportion. I'm saying that his game resembles a guy that is like Klay. He's a catch and shoot 3-point shooter like Klay is. He doesn't take a lot of dribbles. He gets the shot off quick, and he can also hustle back and play some defense for you. Like Klay Thompson is the superstar version of what Damyean Dotson is, and Damyean Dotson is like the good average type of guy.
The Dollar Tree Klay Thompson.
The Dollar Tree Klay, exactly.
Sells said the homeless man's Klay Thompson. Oh man, good question though. I mean, between Dot and Zoe, I still I think ISO's game is coming along, man. I still think he's got some room to grow. But I think as this team improves, man, I've been saying this, that Dotson is going to help us. Dotson is going to help us, man.
Nah, Dotson's nice. I love Dotson.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shout out to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. This is Knicks Post Game Live, the number one post game show for the fans, by the fans. If you're new in the chat, give me a hashtag new so we can shout you guys out. tonight. Shout out my regulars in the chat. Let's see who's in there. Ernesto, what's going on? Cochise, Jamal Simpson, CHT Williams, CP the artist, Paul White, what's going on? What's going on, Shells? We got Charles Barkley in the building. Shout out to Sir Charles in here. Ronil Moody, what's going on, Ronil? Viva La Vegas. Y'all see Spike won. Spike is leaving the Oscars a winner. He may not win Best Director. I don't know who won that yet, but Black Klansman won Best Adaptive Screenplay. So shout out to Spike.
It's a great movie. I would definitely recommend seeing it.
I haven't even seen it yet, bro. I gotta see
You're
that.
missing out. You gotta check that out. It was so good.
Yeah, man, I gotta see that.
I mean, all of Spike's movies are classics.
Love them.
But is Spike a fake fan because he decided to go to the Oscars instead of the Knicks game?
Yeah, Spike is busy, man. Spike is a busy guy, man. You know he would be there when he would be there when he can. But you know he's on that Oscar circuit, so he's got to do what he got to do.
Yeah, man.
Shout out some of the new guys. Kevin Koger, what's going on? CH, what's going on? I Stay Droopy is new. Shout out to I Stay Droopy. Louis Lopez checking in from Puerto Rico. Who else is in here?
I just checked in on the chat real quick, and somebody just said they treated Herb better than Ewing, and I couldn't agree more.
They sure did.
Herb's the company man.
They sure did. I haven't seen Herb in a while, man.
Listen, he did his part for the franchise. They're probably paying him millions to retire. It's like a pension, after you retire from the cops or something, you serve your time. They just pay you to keep on existing, which is what Herb Williams does with the Knicks.
Herb was Teflon, man. Herb was Teflon. Herb outlasted tons of coaches, man. Tons of coaches.
I mean, he was the original. I can't say the original version of the cockroach who just kept on living because Steve Mills was there the whole time.
Absolutely,
but he was something like that. He while everybody else kept on getting moved along, Herb was staying strong in the Knicks organization.
Facts. Somebody said Samuel L. called out the Knicks at the Oscars. That's what's up. Shout out Samuel L. Another one of my favorite actors. Let's take a look at the box score, Jake. Let's take a look at the box score. Let's go to our player rating. Shout out everybody in the chat. If you guys want to call in, the phone lines are up. 657-383-1509. Call us up. Let us know what you thought about the game, man. Also, shout out to everybody who came in yesterday, Jake. We had Spencer from the Front Office Eye from the Stepien. He's an NBA scout. Came in and gave us his early top 5 big board for the draft. So if you guys haven't seen it, I put a link to the videos up here. The little eye icon on the right-hand side of your screen. Click that, and you can see the recording that we did with Spencer from the Front Office Eye. We had a real good show.
I've been working all weekend, but I'll check that out when I can because I'm very interested in that.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
I mean, I got my big board rocking right now, so if you need some input.
Yeah, man. We're going to do some more draft shows for sure as the season winds down as well as we get into March Madness as well.
I got you.
All right, let's see where we at here. Okay, Jake, give me your... Who are your 3 stars of the night? We could actually say stars tonight because they actually played. Right. They actually played a good game. Give me your 3 stars of the night, man. Where are you starting off? It's a tough one.
There's 3 that stand out. All
right, who's your third?
I'll give the honorable mention to Moutier. I'll give him the credit where credit is due.
Okay.
That first half was incredible, but I'm not putting him in my 3 stars. He's the honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay.
Coming in at number 3 for me is going to be Dennis Smith Jr. Like you said, just like it's a very pretty stat line. 13 assists, 0 turnovers. Just the instincts were on display. He saw what was going on, but the one knock I got on him is that he bails out on that mid-range shot too much. I like to see him expand his game a little bit, but hopefully that comes with time. So Dennis Smith is in 3rd. Number 2 for me is going to be Mitch Robinson.
Okay.
Just his presence on the court is felt, and the stats back him up. 5 for 7, 15 points, making the free throws down the stretch were huge. 14 boards, 5 blocks. Like he puts up 5 block games.
Mitch, please.
Like everybody could just get 5 blocks.
Yep.
Like it's
easy.
I mean, how many minutes did he play? He played he played 30 minutes.
30 minutes tonight.
30 minutes is crazy. And then number one, I got to put Dotson. Dotson was incredible.
Yeah.
8 from 13 from downtown. He was constant, and when we needed the big shots, he always seemed to come through for us. And Dotson was the star of the night for me.
I agree. I agree, man. Let's see where I'm going here. I'm going to go the same. I think honorable mention, definitely Moutier. Set the tone for us, 17 first half points. He was excellent. 8 for 10 shooting, 3 of 5 from three-point land. Give credit where credit is due.
He turned the game around the first half.
He did.
He took control.
He did. So I'll give him that honorable mention. Third star, I'm going to go with DSJ as well. 19 points, 13 dimes, no turnovers, 8 of 17 from the field. Got Mitch involved. Lovely. Got Dotson, found Dotson on those elbow threes almost every time. He was excellent. He was excellent. Second, definitely Mitch. 5 of 7 from the field. 5 of 7 free throws for Mitch. 14 boards. 5 block shots. Let's look at these numbers for Mitch, especially on the boards. His last few games. Our Minnesota game didn't really play too well. That was an off night for Mitch. The Atlanta game, 7 boards. The Philly game, 13 boards. 8 boards against Cleveland, 7 against Toronto, 6 against Detroit, 10 against Detroit, 8 against Boston, 7 against Dallas. His rebounding numbers are moving up, man.
The rebounding is becoming a crazy thing, and the more comfortable he gets to the floor, a better feel he gets for the ball jumping off the rim. He'll get better at that. But one of the best parts about the rebounding that may get overlooked at a certain point was the offensive rebounds. He got 6 offensive rebounds tonight, and towards the end of the game, it looked like the Knicks were getting all the second chance points. And I always go back to like the early 2000s when the Knicks were just they just stunk. And every single night it seemed like we were getting out rebounded, and most importantly, we couldn't get a defensive rebound ever. And it used to drive me crazy. I used to throw things against the wall because the other teams were getting offensive rebounds, second chance points. And these guys are professional NBA players. These guys are damn near perfect on the floor. If you give them a second chance, they're going to score. And it's the same with the Knicks. The Knicks may stink right now, but they're still professional basketball players. You give them 2 shots at a 24-second shot clock and then a 14-second shot clock, chances are you're going to put points on the board, and it showed tonight. And, the offensive rebounding really helped.
Yep.
Especially down the stretch. Down the stretch, we were unstoppable because every time we missed, Mitch was there to corral the rebound and give us another second chance, which was big.
6 offensive rebounds from Money Mitch, a.k.a. Mitch Please. Mitchell Robinson. Steal, man. Absolute steal, man. Good. Thank you, Scott Perry, for that pickup, because it's only going to get better. And then number 1, whole team dot. Once again, started the game off hot for us and finished hot. 8 3-pointers, a career high for Dotson. 27 points. Excellent defense. Listen, I wouldn't say excellent effort. I mean, DeMar DeRozan is DeMar DeRozan. We know that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna lock him down, but I liked Dotson's presence out there. I thought he had a good presence about him. And with that, I think his performance was a 10 worthy, man.
I'm with you on that.
I think his performance was a worthy 10.
I mean, if we're measuring everybody on the same scale, his performance, if you're saying Steph Curry had his game, I would still say that game was pretty damn close to being a 9.5 at a superstar level. Because not only was he scoring in bunches, he was scoring efficiently. He didn't turn the ball over. He was playing good defense on DeMar DeRozan. He was a clear reason why we won tonight. He stepped up in a major, major way. He borderline outplayed DeMar DeRozan, who's an all-star.
Sure did.
And he played great tonight. So, but if we're measuring him on the Knicks scale, where we don't have a superstar and no all-stars or anything like that, I would definitely put Dotson at a hard 10 tonight. I couldn't ask for much more than that from Dotson.
Yeah. I'm going 10 for Dot. June 1 in the chat said every once in a while we steal a win from the Spurs, and he's right. Even in all our losing over these last 20 years, every once in a while we get a nice one against the Spurs.
Well, Popovich is a little cocky. He probably walks into Knicks games and he's just like, all right, guys.
He knows how to take nights off. He knows how to take nights off.
And you know what? He probably uses as fire for the flame. He's just like, you guys are pathetic. You lost to the Knicks, and then it sparks like a 7-game winning streak against good teams.
Absolutely, man. Speaking of 10s, I gotta give DSJ a 9.5, man. I gotta give GSJ a 9.5 because, like I said, the numbers speak for themselves, and I thought he did an excellent job getting us involved, man. 13 dimes. I thought he did an excellent job on the offense tonight, man.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go around there too. I'll give him a 9.2. You said 9.5. I'll give him a 9.2. I'll cut the difference. It's just comes down. He gets bumped down about a 0.8 of a point because of that mid-range shot. I need to see that less. I need I need to see more. Like, even if he's shooting the ball more, shooting more 3-point attempts, it's something that I want to see because it means that he's adapting. I just don't want to see that mid-range shot because it's a shot that's going extinct because it's a very inefficient shot. It doesn't put points on the board and usually takes away from the overall game. So that's the reason why I'm going to bump him down. But other than that, Dennis Smith had a beautiful game.
Beautiful game by DSJ. How about Mitch? What are you giving Mitch tonight?
Mitch. I mean, Dennis Smith got the 9.2, Dot got the 10, and he was the second star. Let's put Mitch in a 9.7.
Okay. All right. I give Mitch a 9 as well, man. I give Mitch a 9 as well. Like I said, it's a quality victory, quality opponent, and I thought Mitch was highly impactful in the game tonight. So I'm definitely gonna go in with Mitch, man. And this was a game that the Spurs needed. The Spurs need this game, man. I mean,
absolutely. That eighth spot, that 7 to 10 race in the West is getting pretty hot. Low key, the Kings are looking pretty good right now. I mean, they're a fun team to watch too. Bagley's turning into a stud. And my boy LeBron is currently sinking. That ship be sinking. So,
we know you the anti-LeBron. We know that, man. We know that.
I'm having a blast watching that lower West race, but. Again, you got to take this win with just like a little grain of salt because I'm not sure how many Knicks fans have been watching the Suns. I've been keeping my eye on the Suns like pretty hard. They're not winning anytime soon. They're getting blown out by the Hawks. They're getting blown out by the Cavs. They're not even like remotely close to even looking like they're trying to win. They know what they're doing right now. So we need this win was nice. Cut the streak from the home losses. But let's get back on the tank. It was nice to see the win. Let's get back on the tank. Let's keep our eye on the prize, high draft pick. We don't want to fall to that 7th pick because that would be the worst case scenario.
Suns tank is a formidable tank, man. What's your rating for Lance tonight? What are you going to give Lance tonight?
My God, you're really doing this to me?
Hey, I thought it was solid. Lance deserves a solid 8, man. 7-8. Lance deserves a solid 8.
I'll give him the 7. I'll give him the 7.
Okay.
Just because I don't think he belongs on the floor. But for Lance, he gets a 15. That was like the greatest game I've ever seen. Lance.
Yeah. That was a good game for Lance, man. That was probably his best game since he's been here.
Listen, he played 30 minutes, 16 points, very efficient shooting, 2 for 4 from downtown, and 7 for 13 overall. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, no turnovers. And also another thing that I like about Lance is like he's expendable and he knows that, so he gets 5 fouls. He starts to
use bullets.
Yeah, he increases the physicality of the game, which kind of gets in the opponent's head a little bit.
Yeah,
I still don't think he belongs on a roster in the NBA. But that being said, he played well tonight. I'll give him some credit.
Factuals. Shout out to Lance. And lastly, where are you going with Moutier?
Moutier will get an 8.5 from me.
Okay.
That first half, he was literally like he was a superstar. He couldn't miss. He even had that heat check from like 35 feet.
The heat check.
I laughed it off because I'm like, at this point, like it's almost like, okay, if we lose, we lose. But like at this point, let Moutier do his thing. Like it doesn't really matter. The heat check, he thought he was Steph Curry, man. I was cracking up. I said on Twitter he was going for the MJ shrug with that heat check in the first quarter, man. He shot it from Popovich, from where Popovich was sitting. Yeah, crazy. No, that was the funny. He crossed over, stepped back, fade away from 35 feet out. I'm like, wow, Moutier. Moutier thought he was Trey Burke.
I don't know.
He was feeling himself. He was definitely feeling himself.
He
I like seeing it. I like seeing it.
Yeah, he was feeling it, man. But that was our player ratings. Finally get a win for some player ratings. 3 stars of the night. What do you guys think? We see some ratings coming through in the chat. HB Mack is Moutier 8.5. Somebody said that's the best game they've ever seen Lance play.
I said that too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Lance was great tonight, man.
Nah, he definitely looked like an NBA player tonight. Once in a while, once in a blue moon, even the sorriest sucker could do it.
Lance blew up the tank, man. Big Stack Henry says DSJ bald. Ian Coleman, DSJ best point guard we had since Jason Kidd. Keith Sinclair is one that said best game he's ever seen Lance play. Yeah, listen, Lance played a good one, man. Lance played a good one. Once again, shout out everybody in the chat. This is the Reset post-game live. CP from KnicksFanTV. My man Jake LaNick from the Nick of Time show. Representing Jay Ellis. But from the Knicks podcast. From the Knicks
listen,
podcast.
Jay Ellis is still my boy, but I'm not the Nick of Time show. I am the Lennox podcast.
The Lennox podcast. Standing in for the Nick of Time show. Jay Ellis is doing his podcast. So shout out Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis always misses a good win.
I feel like I'm bad for the tank. I feel like I've been on this show for like 3 or 4 post games.
Good games.
I'm pretty sure we won 2 of them.
Yeah. I think you were here. Yeah, I forgot which games you was here actually, but
I wasn't here for the last win against Cavs, but the win before that, like the however much we lost, I think 14 games in a row. I think I was there for the 14th game where we won.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think we got the Cavs coming up as well, so we'll see Knicks tank versus Cavs tank. Who's going down?
The Cavs are looking kind of nice right now. I mean, they just got Kevin Love back.
Yeah, good.
They still got 1.5 games on us, and as everybody can see, the Knicks winning 1.5 games is I mean, no, they're up 2 games on us, and us winning 2 games is like a miracle. But anything can happen. I keep going back, and I was talking to you about this pre-show as well, CP. Mm-hmm. Flashback to 2015. I know, like, ever since the trade, everybody's off the KP bandwagon and everything. But if you remember, we were in a very close battle with the Minnesota Timberwolves coming down at the end of that season for the worst record in the league. And we were down. And we were down 1 game on them going into the last 3 games, and we ended up winning 2 of our last 3 games.
Lost
and then, of course, we lost the tiebreak. I mean, that was the lock of the century. You had to know as a Knicks fan that we were.
What was worse, that or Maurice Endauer? Was that the same one? That was the same year?
No, that was the same year. Yeah, Maurice Endauer, the Michael Jordan the mid-range jump shot over over the Utah Jazz.
His
like that
parting
was the
gift for the Knicks fans, and I think his last game. No, did he go to Dallas after that? I forgot.
He's had a couple stops here and there, but that was his thing, man. He hit that shot and just left us. We had KP, we could have had Karl Towns, and I feel like Knicks fans probably would have been happy with Karl Towns. So, but either way, I mean, like we want to help our situation as best possible because the Knicks somehow always find a way to blow up the tank in a very major
somehow, some way. And right now we are 1.5 games behind the Suns. 12-48, a formidable 12-48. 60 games in, 22 left to play. Suns are 11-50. Cleveland is 14-46, 2 games behind us.
It's crazy that we're 60 games in already.
60 games in, man. Yeah, season goes by fast. Jaden Diaz says thoughts on the final dunk with Mitch Robinson. I thought it was amazing.
If it was the dunk contest, what would you give it, CP?
Oh, what, the lob off the backboard?
Yeah.
I give it a 45.
45?
Yeah, I give it a 45.
I'll give it a 40.
I give it a 45.
I'll give it a 43. But that's dunk contest. In game,
that's a hard 50. In game is a 50.
In game, that's a hard. Any off the backboard, anything dunk slam, especially with the emphasis that Mitch Robinson brings. Yeah, that was a 50 in game for
facts. Sure. All facts, man. If you guys want to call in, phone lines are up 657-383-1509. Let's tonight is the night. Also, we're gonna be giving away this Knicks fitted hat, courtesy of Statement Games, courtesy of the post game live show, KnicksFanTV and Nick of Time show. Let me pull up the winners right now.
The hat is fire.
Yeah, the hat is nice, man. Shout out to Shells for donating. Shells has been supporting us all year with the giveaways. So shout out to Shells for that. All right, let me pull up the contest information. I'll pull up some questions too in the chat. Shout out to KnicksFanTV Dave for sending out the questions. Here's a question for you, Jake. Let's see. Question for you, Jake. Lee42806 says, with Kyrie coming up in free agency, should the Knicks try to sign him or keep and develop DSJ?
Oh, I think that if you get a chance to sign Kyrie, you got to try and sign Kyrie. But I think that it does, like, you can get Kyrie and it still wouldn't really be the full potential of what it could be. It's so important that we get KD or Kawhi at this point, and it's such high hopes, which is part of the reason why I wasn't thrilled about the trade, because we're once again banking on cap space and free agency.
Yeah.
But again, like, I'm hoping for once that it was a savvy move by our front office. They got tipped off by somebody saying that, somebody big's coming our way. But I just hope that it's bigger than Kyrie. I hope Kyrie is a supplemental piece. I think that if you get Kyrie, it'll be electric. It'll be fun to watch him. But he's not bringing us to the championship. He'll make us a playoff team, but he's not going to be like better. If it's just Kyrie and all of our young guys.
No. It's not the move.
It's not going to be better than like the Melo years or anything like that. No, but he can pair up nicely with Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, they could complement each other well. It would be kind of nice to see.
Only way I'm bailing on the development tanks is if we're getting two of these guys. If we're getting KD and Kawhi, if we're getting KD and Kyrie, that's the only way I'm bailing on this thing. But
if you don't get KD and Kawhi, you're like,
I'm good.
Just lock up the cap space.
Yeah. I don't want anything, man. I'm good.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't think that we should go on a spending spree just to get players, which is something that the Knicks have done in the past.
I don't want to do that.
We all know. Spending money just to spend money is no good. That's why I think that getting KD and Kawhi is so important.
Yeah, so, I don't want to do that.
So I'm with you on that. But again, it would be fun to see Kyrie or Kemba for that matter in a Knicks jersey. It would be fun to watch, but they're not bringing us to the promised land alone. We need one of those elite guys, KD or Kawhi.
Definitely. I agree on that. I definitely agree on that. Okay, let me get into this contest real quick, and we'll get back to you guys. If you guys want to call in, once again, the number is 657-383-1509. If not, you could also submit a question. Dave should be submitted a link to the Q&A if you guys want to ask a question and not call in. All right, Jake, here is the contest announcement. 4 statement games.
For the hat?
For the hat.
Nice.
All right, here we go.
Is it too late to enter myself in it?
You got until every tip off to answer. Pause. But it's until the 7:30 tip or whenever the game starts that you have to submit. All right, let me announce the winners right now. Okay, so we had 4 contests. The winner of contest 1, they call me Tack. Come on down. They call me Tack. Wins an NBA store gift card, and he'll also have his name submitted for the hat. Blake 21 also finishes as a finalist. Odysseon also finishes as a finalist for the hat. Contest 2, Nostra Thomas and NYNS Motor Mouth tied at 49 points. Perfect Game is 55 points. These two tied up, so they both go home with an NBA store gift card, so congratulations to you. And Ryan Lerman joins that group in the final 3 for the hat as well. Contest 3, and you're able to play more than once, Jake. You're able to play more than one time, so
all right.
Some of these guys took advantage of it. Ryan Lerman wins contest 3. He goes home with an NBA store gift card. Odysseon and LT Buttkiss 3457. I didn't want to say that name, but they finished as the final 3 who will go into the run-ins for the hat. Contest 4, Ryan Lerman wins again. So he goes home with 2 NBA Store gift cards. T. Williams, who's been a consistent winner on this show, goes home with an NBA Store gift card. And Odysseon once again finishes in the final 3. So I'm going to take these names. I'm going to put them in the name picker ninja, as we usually do. And we're going to find out who's going home with it, man.
Let's go.
Let's go. Who wants his hat? All right, let me back this up a little bit. Let me get rid of these fake names. I'm going to put the names in there. Shout out to Nick Reyes, Statement Games. Shout out Mark Celino, Statement Games. All right, Nick, here we go. The winner of the Knicks fitted hat. You're going to click go, and here it is. The name picker is going to pick, and he picks. They Call Me Tack is going home with the Knicks fitted hat. Congratulations to Tack. And he's actually watching on the Nick of Time show. Tack left this show. He doesn't mess with KnicksFanTV anymore. He's a moderator in Nick of Time show.
I still see him in the chat. He's all pumped up about even getting his name drawn in the first place. But now that he won, he's about to be lit.
So Tack goes home with the NBA Store gift card and this fitted hat. Congratulations to Tack. I don't know if we got to send it to Hawaii or send it to Oakland, but Statement Games pays for that, so I don't got to worry about that. Shout out to Nick from Statement Games. Congratulations to Tack. Congratulations to T. Williams for once again claiming a NBA Store gift card. And yeah, man. Hey, listen, I told you guys to play. I tell people all the time, it's free to play. You can play multiple times. There's really no losing in this, man. There's really no losing. T. Williams will tell you. I think we had to pay T. Williams at least $100 and so, couple gift cards. You know, T. Williams racked up, man. So congratulations to everybody who came out a winner. And we got another prize. I got a jacket coming up. We'll do the jacket at some point.
Might have to go against me for that jacket.
Yeah, the jacket is nice, man. I'm looking at the jacket right now, man.
A nice spring weather jacket never hurt nobody.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Simerjit Singh says people be doubting the game. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. People think it's like some sort of like hocus pocus. It's all simple, man. It's all simple. Whenever we play Statement Games, I break it down for you guys all the time. All you got to do, Statement Games are prop bets. You go to statementgames.com, you create your free account. They have other leagues and other games that you could play. It's not just basketball. Football season was cracking, and T. Williams cleaned up during football season. And, yeah, that's all you got to do. You just got to rank your statements from 10 to 1. 10 being the prediction that you think is most likely to come through, and 1 being the one that you don't. And you rank them. Once the game goes on and the predictions come through, you have the ability to it adds up all your points. It adds up all your points. The final 3 from each contest go on to the drawing. And so we had 4 contests, 3 winners from each contest. So we had 12 people, 12 winners, and that's it, man. Tack goes home a winner. Tack goes home a winner.
Congrats to Tack.
Congrats to Tack. All right, let's go to the next question. I think we got a call coming through, but in the meantime, let's go to the next question. This is one from Ronell Moody. He says, in an AD trade, is there any potential asset or assets you would make untouchable in a potential deal? I would not part with the first pick or money, Mitch.
That's fair.
Well, here's the problem. If I could just stop you real quick, here's the problem. You got to make the salaries match up, so you got to put the first pick in it.
I see. Like I'm thinking in like what capacity are we trading for AD? In the situation that we're trading for KD, are we trading for KD like now, or are we trading for KD if we have like KD? Or are we trading for AD with KD and Kyrie in free agency or something like that? Because right now, I like if we're only trading for AD with the roster that we have currently, I'm not trading for AD at all, because I don't like if you have this young core going on, you want to build that young core. The only way you part with the young core is if you go into win now mode. And you're not going to be in win now mode if all you add is AD. However, if you have a big free agency and you sign big name free agents and you come away with KD and Kyrie or KD and Kemba or Kawhi, KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, like whatever combination you want, then you go and play for AD because then you're in win now mode. And AD also does that reset type of thing because he's young. He can kind of develop that farm system type of system that the Spurs do because he's only 25. I think 25 or 26. I don't know. He's like 25 years old. So, you know, I think that if you can get the three AD, KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, Kemba, whatever, three of whoever those guys are, then you go for it. And in that situation, I'm pretty sure you'd have to part with the majority of the team to make the contracts line up. Yeah. I would prefer not to see draft picks leave. But again, if we have those three superstars on our team, the draft picks won't be worth that much.
I think I continue to say if the miracle happens and we do get a Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I think they will legitimately look to get Anthony Davis.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I think the front office.
I'm scared of it. I'm scared of it, but I think they will.
You got to be skeptical about it. That's the problem I have with the Knicks currently. It's if we had like a competent like front office with a great history, I would be trusting what they're doing right now. But we're talking about the Knicks front office, and at the front of the front office, I know everybody loves to trust Scott Perry. I met Scott Perry; he's a good guy. He's cool. I know everybody likes to trust Fizdale. I don't know why you would, but but at the front of the front, you still have the same commander-in-chief and number two. You still got James Dolan and Steve Mills. And as long as those two are still in charge, I'm not fully trusting anything. So,
I'm trying to take the opposite stance, but I hear you, man. I hear you on one ear, but on the other ear, I'm ignoring
It's difficult. You know, it's so much like negative reconditioning that, you know, I can't trust it anymore. It's just,
it's hard, man.
You got to show me something. It's got to come to a point.
Because like I said, the window changes if you bring in these two guys or whatever combination two max plays. Your window changes, so it's almost like you're straddling the fence if you don't go get AD. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And I think that and I think we're on the same page that if you land the two superstars and you have the big money free agency that, you know, every Knicks fan like goes to sleep every night praying for because that's exactly what we want. Yeah. Then you go all in for AD because at that moment you're a contender. Yeah. If you get KD and AD on the same team and you pair them up with Kyrie or Kemba, you're a contender. I don't care. In the Eastern Conference, and you know KD's coming over, which means the Warriors are dismantled, which means there's no more big four going on or whatever. That's the best big three in the league. So if you can get KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, Kemba, whatever combination, and you can add AD on that team, you go for it because then that'll make you a contender to win a championship right away.
I would hope so. Yeah, but I mean, look at what Philly's doing. If Philly goes back with that same team, if they re-up Butler and they re-up Tobias, that's a deep team. Milwaukee,
that's for sure. But again, I think that in terms of the talent. I mean, like they're dangerous because they are a bunch of they're exactly what you want. I mean, Ben Simmons is a 7-foot point guard. You know, he moves like LeBron James. Can't shoot worth a lick, but still, you got Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris on the wings, who are both like great 3-and-D players and all-stars and what have you. And then Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. He could be one of the greatest big men of all time when it's all said and done. He's got the skill set to do it. So I see where you're coming from. But if you can have a combination of KD and AD, that's two top three players in the league, and then you pair them up with another guy, whether it's Kawhi, Kemba, Kyrie, that's a very mean big three. And then you fill out the roster in any other which way.
That's the problem. That's the problem in how you fill it out, man. But let's get to May 14th first.
Yeah,
see what the lottery
that's
holds.
The thing. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because my brain just starts to churn.
With the 5th pick of the NBA draft.
The 5th pick.
Facts.
With the 7th pick, the Knicks get Bruno Fernando.
Oh, my God.
That's literally what it's going to be.
Kill me. Flood says, is KD or Kawhi a better fit? Is KD or Kawhi a better fit?
a better fit for the team we have right now.
Yeah.
Either
one.
we
need the best player available, man.
I say if you get either one, it's perfect. If you're asking me who I prefer out of the two of them, I'd probably do KD. I think KD's the best player in the world right now. He's a 7-foot small forward. He has handle. He can shoot. Kawhi, he's a better. He's arguably a better defender. When KD goes all out, he can rack up blocks and lock anybody up at any given time. So I'm a big KD guy, but that's not to discount what Kawhi is capable of. He's every bit as good as KD, but I think that KD has an edge over Kawhi by a little bit.
I hear that. You can't lose with either one. I love both of them. I love both of their games. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong in that situation.
Absolutely. People want to see what the jacket looks like for the next Statement Games competition. I'll give you guys a sneak peek.
A little sneak peek.
This is Reebok joint. You know what I mean? We got the this is crispy right here, Shells.
I'm moving over to the chat now.
This is crispy. Man. It's an XL. It's an XL.
I love that.
Yeah, this is nice, man. Freshly embroidered. You know what I mean? Freshly embroidered hardwood classics. This is a nice jacket, man.
I love it. Yeah. And it's got my logo on it.
Yeah. Facts, man. So that's a jacket. We'll announce the contest at a later date. What else? Other announcements? Those of you in the NYC area, if you guys came to the watch party that we did earlier this season, we had a great time. And we're doing it again on March. Let me just pull it up for you guys. We're doing it again on March the 15th. NYC, anybody in the New York City area, March the 15th, we are doing another watch party. Knicks versus Spurs, the rematch in San Antonio. A lot riding on this one. March 15th at 8:30 at John Sullivan's in New York City, 210 West 35th Street. Free to get in. All proceeds are going to the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Last watch party, we gave them a check for about $700, so we did well. We also had a lot of raffles, prizes. People went home with jerseys, other Knicks memorabilia, so it was a good time, man. It was a real good time. We must have had probably over 100 people last time, so we're going to look to have some more people this time, and that's brought to you by yours truly, Knick of Time Show, Posting and Toasting, Knicks Film School, the whole family, Gotham Sports Network, Hard Knicks Life, and the Locked On Knicks podcast. So make sure, if you guys are in the area, if you guys are in the tri-state area, definitely come through. All right, what else? People say the jacket is fire. Yeah, the jacket is.
Jacket
is nice, man. I saved it for last, man.
I'm surprised you didn't burn your hand holding that up.
Yeah, this is for the back. Hey, I told Shells, I was like, Shells, man, we're going to do these for the giveaways, man. We're going to do it for the giveaways. So
yeah, man.
Definitely appreciate Shells for contributing. All right, let's, if you guys have any last-minute questions, we'll take them now. If not, we will sign off. Keith Sinclair says he might be at that watch party. Come through, Keith. Frank Mato says, any watch parties in South Florida? Frank, if you continue to support this channel, maybe one day we will get out there, man, and just watch a Knicks Heat.
I'll be the first one out there, man.
You know, we'll fly the Puma jet with Kevin Knox and company and go watch the game. Paul Quick says he's with the jacket. Yeah, man, I'll let you guys know ahead of time when to play.
Yeah, I wish I could make that one. I wasn't able to make the one earlier. I've been working like crazy during these Knicks games, and I work on Fridays, and I work far away from the city, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. I'll see if I could though. I'll ask my managers if I could get some time off.
Yeah, man, come down, man. It was definitely a good time. Jason Genyard says, I'd rather have Beal, won't have to give up as much, and he's only 26. The problem again is, and because I was having a conversation with JB, Knicks Film School, and we were talking about, what the assets that we would have to give up theoretically to get AD, and he was like, well, first off, if you get the number one pick, it would have to be number one pick, Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., and Frank to start with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure New Orleans is going to want Mitch. I'm sure they're going to want Mitch. They're going to want to bring Mitch home.
I mean, I was watching ESPN and they were going through what what the Knicks have to do in order to land a guy like AD and make the contracts match up.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, and they also put Kevin Durant and Kyrie on the Knicks in the situation, which I liked because that's the only situation I want the Knicks to go after AD in. And it literally came down to you pretty much have to get rid of the whole entire team besides your draft pick to get AD and to make the contracts work. So there's that. But then you're also going to get a high draft pick, and then you can fill it out with vet mins and all that, which we've seen be very successful in the NBA throughout the years. So, I mean, it would work. It's just a matter of
it could. You just have to get rid of half the damn team. But for Bradley Beal,
it would be a lot of years wasted off our lives. You know?
Basically. But for Bradley Beal, the issue comes down to, again, contract. He makes a lot of money, man. Bradley Beal makes a lot of money. And
he was the highest paid player in the NBA for a second.
Yeah. Bradley Beal makes a ton of money. So the issue now is you would, if you want to give up less, you would have to facilitate like a 3-team trade. Yeah,
no doubt. And also, so like with Bradley Beal, he's the same age as AD, give or take a year. And it's a matter, like, I get why you would want Bradley Beal. Like, he fits the prototype for the modern-day NBA, the 3-and-D guy, the guard, handle the ball. He's a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
He still makes that type of money that AD is gonna make the next time his contract's up. And on top of that, he also has that injury history, too. It's not like, I'd rather have Bradley Beal because he's more durable than AD. Like, Bradley Beal has had his slew of injuries as well, so let's not discount that.
Yeah, I like Beal. I
love Beal. I'm a huge Beal fan.
Yeah. You got to see what Washington's motivation is going to be, man. I'm sure, because I'm sure if the Lakers lose out on AD, no LeBron and them are going to be scrambling. So I can see them trying to pony up something for Bradley Beal, a bit lesser of a package than they would for AD.
Man, I'm really curious to see what goes on with the Lakers this offseason. Like, it could very well be like what it was with the Cavs. Like, I don't think anybody's in a rush to go play with LeBron right now. He's on the wrong side of 30 years old, and he throws teammates under the bus constantly, and he makes everybody look useless. And then if anybody screws up, it's never his fault. It's always his teammates. And I don't think people look at that like an ideal place to play. I think that they'd rather, at this point in time, play for the Clippers. I think that's
starting to shift. It's starting to shift. It's starting to shift, man. But hey, man, we got our own fish to fry over here, man.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him. Let him worry about his own problems. Well, let's worry about the Knicks.
Absolutely. HB Mac, 2 more questions and then we'll shut it down. Dave, I'll just shut down the phones if nobody wants to call in. HB Mac says, what are your thoughts about DSJ in this small sample size? Do you think he could be a point guard of the future for the Knicks if they don't land Kyrie or Kemba? I think we had talked about that a lot, but same sentiments here with me. I think we've seen the flashes, we've seen the potential in DSJ. He's had a couple good games now. This one was I think his best overall. But to Jake's point, you want to see some consistency in his shooting. Maybe
expand the range.
The range a little bit. I agree with that, but I wouldn't be averse to grooming him as the guy, man. Why not?
Listen, I loved him as a draft prospect. I was definitely one of the people that was vouching for him over Frank when the draft was around. I'm still not unhappy with Frank. I'm not one of these Frank haters. But I think Dennis Smith has all the tools to be a very, very good basketball player. But he has his stuff, and he needs to work on some things, and he still has a pretty long way to go. And he also has an injury history that you got to keep an eye on. So, hopefully he can get it together, and hopefully he stays in the gym and works hard because he could definitely be a good piece for the Knicks, no doubt.
The way the guard rotation is looking right now, I don't know if Frank can see the floor, man.
I don't see how
Frank sees the floor, man.
I've been saying it since Kristaps left. I think that Frank's the next one out the door. It just seems like all the Phil Jackson guys are just kicking rocks besides Damyean Dotson and Lance Thompson.
Well, if you believe the trade rumors during the deadline, it looks like they had offers for him. They were looking to trade him. You were hearing different things, but when you considering DSJ, at least for this year, DSJ, Moutier, Kadeem Allen has played better. You got ISO, you got Dotson. The guard rotation is too cluttered right now, man. Frank can't even stay healthy. That's a problem.
It's definitely a problem. The one thing I will say about the people who doubt Frank, and Frank's so young and he still has a lot to prove. I get it. He hasn't been good so far, but the tools are there. I'm not going to say that he's like great or anything, but some of these guys give Euro guys a much harder time than the guys that play college ball and come up in the normal way. And I'll give it in an example with Kevin Knox. I said before that Kevin Knox's aggression sometimes goes in and out. He fades in and out. And I think when Frank kind of lays off the gas pedal a little bit, he gets so much, and everybody goes at him so hard, and he gets so much criticism for that. But if Knox has a game where he's like not attacking and not doing this, people give him the benefit of the doubt often. That's like the one common denominator there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Frank has looked better than Knox, because that's simply untrue.
Yeah.
But it's just about the consistency of the argument that
Well, I think it's because I don't really know if it's a Euro thing. I just think I think people don't see much in Frank. I don't think the organization sees much in him, to be honest with you. How many point guards do we have to bring in to give you the hint that they're not high on this dude, man? They brought in Jared Jack. They brought in Trey Burke. They brought in Moody. They brought in Dennis Smith Jr. They brought in ISO. This kid, they've lost confidence in him, and he doesn't have any confidence in himself right now.
I agree, but I also blame it partially on the Knicks. I feel like they really haven't given him opportunities or instilled confidence in him through his play. I think that they haven't given him that fight or flight type of situation, like a sink or swim. He's been pretty coddled.
But do you blame him, though? I mean, because to me, I kind of go with, I like the next man up type of mentality. I like that keep what you kill if Fizdale is actually implementing it.
That's fair. I mean, he's definitely not aggressive on offense. But again, it's not all about offense. He's a good defensive player. And we also saw towards the end of the season last year that he's not a useless offensive player. He was racking up double-doubles. He was getting a ton of assists. He was not turning the ball over. I mean, there's still room in the NBA for a playmaking point guard. You don't need to score 25 points per game just because that's the way every guard does it. If you are a scoring guard like Dennis Smith Jr., I would like to see you expand your range. But if you're a playmaker and a more defensive point guard, then so be it. But I'm with you on that. I think that you do have to keep what you kill, and that's all good and dandy. And I would like to see Frank get more confident with the ball in his hands. But it's just the fact that I don't think he's had a lot of opportunity to do so, because I feel like the franchise has kind of turned on him from day one.
I don't think they've had much confidence in him. I think it's pretty evident. I don't think they have it. Let's take this call. Now the calls are coming in. All right, let's. We just about to wrap up. Now the calls are coming in. All right, we'll take these two and get out of here. Big Reaper from Jersey wants to talk about 3-point shooting in the NBA. Big Reaper, what's good, bro?
Hey, what's up? Big fan of the show. You guys do a great job.
Thanks a lot, man.
First of all, just to say really quickly what you guys say about, these young guys, Frank and these guys. I do kind of blame it. I do blame it on the organization also. If you're picking up a bunch of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, you got to make sure you have the structure in place to kind of like train them and bring them up, and also instill confidence in them. I think at the end of the day, we all forget these are like 19 and 20-year-old kids.
Yeah.
They still got a long way to go. But going back to like the whole 3-point shooting thing, the guest host made a comment about like how the mid-range is the most inefficient shot in the NBA.
Who made that comment?
Dennis Smith Jr. to take more 3-pointers.
Wait, who made that comment?
I'm sorry?
Who made that comment?
The guest host. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Jake. You're talking about Jake. Jake.
Yes, Jake. I'm sorry about that. Jake.
No, all good.
And so basically, so I've actually done research on this, where you basically, like where I've looked for what contributes to like, winning basketball, the statistics that's like, contribute the most to winning basketball. And you can go back as far as like to like early 90s. 3-point shooting doesn't contribute to winning basketball. It's like the relationship between like outcome of a game and 3-point shooting is something like, the correlation score is like really low, it's like in the 30s. And so a lot of people, they talk up, 3-point shooting as though like, it actually contributes to winning basketball. It really doesn't if you look at the data. The other thing people don't realize, they look at teams like Golden State that have, they have really good 3-point shooters, but Golden State is really good because they do use it to create space, but they get a lot of twos. They drive to the basket a lot, and also they have, like, when they won those championships, they were, like, top 3 defense. And so everybody kind of gets really confused about, like, what 3-point shooting, what it really does to the game. They think it contributes to winning, but it really doesn't. Believe it or not, back in the 90s, in 96, 97, 3-point shooting actually contributed more to winning basketball than it does today.
That's interesting.
And so that was a comment I really wanted to make.
Big Reaper doing his homework, man. That was interesting, man. But I mean, it is interesting in that it just seems like that, like they say, that the art of the mid range is lost. You don't see too many guys, taking that many shots. Like I look at like the Knicks when they had like Kurt Thomas, for example, Kurt Thomas, McDice, these guys would live on the mid range. These guys would live on the mid range, and then you look at teams like a San Antonio, a Houston, a Golden State. Seems like some of these teams, especially Houston, they're taking more threes than twos in some games. But
well, the thing is, for example, with Golden State, they do shoot 3-pointers. They're one of like the anomalies out there. So it's really like Golden State, as far as that's one of the best teams in the NBA. That's like top 10. It's really only Golden State and the Rockets that shoot 3-pointers at a decent percentage. But then if you actually look on the other end, that's not even really why they're really good. You have to look at they're really good because they rebound. They limit the opposition's ability to rebound the ball, and they also it's defense. They basically keep everyone else's shooting percentage down. I think Golden State, theirs is something like they keep teams down below 44%. On average, the past like 3 or 4 years, they've been able to do that. So it's really on the defensive end. That's how they've been able to do it. But everyone just, I think it's really the whole, like, obviously data analysis and statistics playing a bigger role in basketball now. And also with all the technology they're putting into place. I think, it's all a good thing, but the thing that's really funny about it is, like, even with all the technology and with the data analysis, they're still coming to, like an incorrect conclusion because they're saying 3-pointers, like, what it should be, and that's what's, like, contributing to like, winning basketball, but it doesn't, When you look at the data, it really doesn't. It doesn't have a strong relationship with win percentage. You can look at also the Toronto Raptors. They don't shoot 3-pointers very, very much.
Good point.
The Bucks, they don't shoot 3-pointers very much or very well. The Celtics. So you can go through all the best teams, the top 10 teams in the NBA. I think you may have only 2 of them, 2 top 10 teams that actually shoot 3-pointers above 35% as a team.
I think that the Raptors is valid. They don't have a lot of good 3-point shooters, but the success of the Bucks is very dependent on the 3-point shot. They don't shoot 3-pointers at the clip that a lot of other teams do, but they do have guys that can expand the range. And the point about the 3-pointers is not necessarily to chuck up 3-pointers time and time again like Mike D'Antoni preaches, and that's usually why he loses so early in the playoffs. I think he's an overrated coach. I think he always has these incredible guards that make incredible plays, but at a certain point, coaching becomes a bigger issue, and you need some good coaching to get by good teams. But what the Bucks do is they utilize the 3-pointer to open up the lanes and open up the inside for Giannis. You got Brook Lopez, you got Nikola Mirotic, you got Chris Middleton, who's a dead-eye 3. You got Eric Bledsoe who can expand the range. So they're not necessarily throwing up three-pointers, but they have the threat of the three-pointer to expand the zone. And when you can expand the zone like that, and you have a freak like Giannis who has size, athleticism, ball handling skills in one-on-one matchups, he's borderline unstoppable, which leads to his stat line this year. That's the point I'm making about the three-pointer.
I think there is something to that, what you're saying as far as with the three-pointer, using it to create space on the floor. I do think there might be something to that, but I just don't. When you actually look at the data, even like isolated, like I said, okay, let's throw away win percentage. Let's just look at like the relationship between three-point shooting and points per game. Even if you look at that, the relationship between that is weak. Between which really surprised me. I thought there would be a strong relationship between like the number of 3-pointers you make and the number of points you score in the game. But if you look at it, it's not very strong at all. I think it might be that might be like in the 40s. But I do think there's something to it that it does create space. But as far as contributing, contributing like extra points to you winning, to your team, it just doesn't, because I think what people have to keep in mind is I don't think the players are actually better 3-point shooters. So if you're just jacking up shots, so what's happening? Everybody's just jacking up shots. They're shooting at a worse percentage than the players used to back in the 90s. And so it's almost like that's why in the 90s it seemed like 3-point shooting had a stronger relationship to your scoring output and also to winning basketball than it does now, because you just have people are telling everyone to shoot, so to create space. And it probably does create space, but at the end of the day, it's not really helping them win the basketball game. And that's really what the whole point of the whole point is, to win, right? And to score more points, hopefully. But that's not even what's really happening. What's happening is it does help create a little more pace. The pace in the NBA has been up. If a lot of people, they look at Golden State Warriors, they're like, oh, well, Golden State, they allow 110 points or 111, whatever it might be. But if you look at their the field goal percentage for the opponents, at 43%. So yeah, you can score 111 points on them, so you're shooting 43%, and you jacked up maybe 29 3-pointers against them, and you only hit 12, or actually even 8, less than that, and it doesn't really help you. But it's just something.
All right, appreciate the call, man. Reaper, man. What do you got to close on that one with, Jake?
I just think that he's overlooking the overall thing. I agree with him that a great offense shouldn't be centered around just jacking up a whole bunch of 3-pointers. I don't think that that's how good offense is played. But the whole way that the NBA is moving is to stop with the mid-range jump shots, because the mid-range jump shots get you 2 points as opposed to 3 points, and the percentages from the mid-range area expanded out to the 3-point range is around the same percentage. And when you add the total point combinations on top of the percentages, the 3-pointer is a much more efficient shot.
Yeah.
But the main purpose of a good offense should be to get to the rim. If you get a layup or a dunk, it's the most high percentage shot in the game. But in order to do that, you have to expand your offense so you can get the defense out on the perimeter, which is why you see all these teams adopting the formula of playing 5 guys out, which is why guys like Kristaps Porzingis, when he's healthy, is so valuable. Joel Embiid, Boogie Cousins, these guys can expand the range, and that's why all these teams are looking for players like that. I think that his argument is right, but in terms of how the game is being played currently, you need the 3-pointer. The 3-pointer is important. It's why all the great teams right now are 3-point centric. Everybody's doing it.
You're saying you have to be at least a formidable threat.
Yes, absolutely. And the Bucks are a perfect example. I wouldn't call the Bucks a 3-point shooting team.
Yeah, but one through 5, they can knock it down. Well, maybe except Giannis.
Exactly, and Giannis dominates inside because of the threat of a 3-pointer. That's how that works.
And I think to Reaper's point, I think he's saying the team, you have to look at other aspects of the team, defense in particular, as to why they win. So I think both of you had some fair points. I thought that was a good debate, man.
No, he was good. I thought
that was a good debate. Shout out to Big Reaper for bringing those statistics to us, man.
Yeah, the homework paid off.
Yeah,
Love
man.
it.
All right, last call of the night. Tony from the Heights. wants to talk about what we should do if we strike out in free agency. Tony, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for letting me call in the show. Love
Absolutely.
the show. You guys are great.
Thank you, man.
All right, so my question is, if it's not Kyrie, KD, Kawhi, I really don't think we should sign anyone to a huge offer. Like, my worst fear is that we're going to give Goran Dragic and Vucevic a max 4-year deal each, and we're going to be in cap hell for the rest of forever. But here's my question, and I've been trying to ask this question since the last time we played Brooklyn in the fan Q&A. But I guess, it never came up for one reason or another. But if we do strike out in free agency, what is your guys' perspective on us trading or acquiring quote-unquote bad contracts, but that have attached assets to them, such as first-round picks or quality young players that might just need a change of scenery? The same way, for example, that Brooklyn did it. They got D'Lo, and they got 3 first-round picks, one from Denver, Toronto, and one from, I think, Houston or Portland.
I'd be willing to do it. I'd be willing to do it if it makes sense, man. I'm all about the asset acquisition right now, Jake. So, I mean, if it means taking a guy with a bloated contract, who might have 2 or 3 years on his deal, and we're getting an unprotected first, let's go with it.
See, that's the thing about the KP trade that kind of worried me a little bit. You had a guy who could potentially become a superstar already on your team. Now we're left in hopes and prayers to hope that we get the assets, hope that we get the free agents, hope that we get the number 1 draft pick, which is a lot to hope for Knicks fans. We've seen it go wrong so many times. So it made me a little bit skeptical, but I'm hoping for the best. But if we strike out, it's definitely panic time. And, and worst case scenario, if you strike out and get like the 4th or 5th pick in the draft, then it's super panic time. And it's kind of crazy because, you look at the Nets right now and, screw the Nets. I hate the Nets. The Nets are literally it's my least favorite franchise in all of sports. But it's crazy to think that they got a competent front office in the past couple of years, ever since my man Billy the King completely screwed over that operation. They overhauled everything, and they had a quicker, more effective rebuild than the Knicks with a bunch of lottery draft picks, which is crazy to think about. So if you strike out on everything and you get like no assets after the KP trade and everything, it is panic time. I think that you should try to acquire assets any way that you could, kind of like the Nets did. It's a copycat league, Yeah. That's how you got it.
I agree with that, man. Tony, appreciate the call, my guy.
Wait, can I just one more real quick question?
No doubt.
So my biggest fear, right, and I don't know if other people feel this way, my biggest fear is about how we develop our players, right? So Kevin Knox coming out the draft in Kentucky was great, coming off screens and hitting mid-range shots and then expanding his game to the floater and the three-point line. I feel like the Knicks are kind of forcing him to either start off from the 3 already or grab the rebound and go in transition and make his own offense, right? Like, they're not running anything for him to get comfortable on the court. So my fear is that whoever we get in this lottery, right, next year, even if it's Zion, my fear is that I don't know if our staff is actually really good at transitioning our young players from college to the NBA. Like Mitch Robinson, he's great, but he literally has a very simple role. Just set screens, roll, and block everything that's in your way. Whereas Knox needs to create offense for himself on the court, which I don't think he was really ready to do that coming out of college. He was more of a come-off-the-screen guy.
Right.
But I don't see any of those sets. Even when he's struggling, I do not see any of those sets being run on the court. And that's my biggest fear so far. I don't know what to do about that.
I hear that, man, and appreciate the call, Tony, man. I think, we've been saying it. We've been saying it from the beginning, Jake. Time will tell, man, if this coach is going to be able to implement the proper offense that elaborates on Kevin Knox's strengths, that gets him going. I think you could partially blame that for some of his struggles this season. Is kind of he's just standing around in the corner. Yeah, and
no, it's no doubt that's what it is right now. I mean, like, none of us are Nostradamus. We can't predict the future, For all we know, I mean, like, you know, Kevin Knox is shaking off some rookie cobwebs. A lot of people go through sophomore slumps. He could come out next year and average 20 and 8. We have no idea what's going to happen. You know, one year under the belt can do a lot for somebody. But you know, time will tell. I'm usually a very pessimistic Knicks fan. I've been through a lot with this team over the 26 years of my life. So I've learned to be a little bit pessimistic. But I'm just trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping everything pans out. I hope Dennis Smith Jr. comes along. I hope that Kevin Knox comes along. I hope that Damyean Dotson progresses the way he's doing. I hope that Mitch Robinson turns into a beast. You know, there's so many good parts about this team. That's the thing. Like when I talk, some people think that I'm just constantly hating. I'm not. I just think that there's some clear things about the front office and developmental process and the lineup switches that are inconsistent with what we're trying to accomplish. And that's the only thing that worries me. But that doesn't discount what we do have. And we do currently have assets, despite what other people like to say. So I think that the Knicks are in a relatively good spot right now. But I think that a lot is riding on free agency this year. I really do.
Summed up nicely, man. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. And with that, Jake, let's close out. Let them know where to find you, bro.
You can find me Instagram, Twitter at @the_Lennox. That's THE_LEKNICKS. We're coming live with that YouTube live. I know it's been a while. My brother and I were on different schedules. We are going to start the YouTube live sometime this week or next. I promise. I know it's been long awaited, but it's coming. You can subscribe. We got the channel already all set up. Just type in The Lennox on your search tab and it should come up. Subscribe, and we will get it out to you ASAP as possible.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Jake. Good
Appreciate
show, man.
you. Thanks for having me on, CP. I always appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And salute to you guys for sticking with us, man. 130 to 116. Knicks put the brake on the tank and get a W. 18-game losing streak at home has been snapped. The people actually get their money's worth for once. So congratulations to all the tourists who went home happy. Hey, listen, man. Shout out to everybody that joined us tonight. Like I said, yesterday's draft show with Spencer from the front office. Don't miss it. I put some links to it in the show description. Merch video link down below for the merch. The show is also available in audio format on Spotify, Google Play. You see it right there. iTunes, Stitcher. If you got an Alexa at home, all you have to say is, Alexa, play KnicksFanTV, and you will hear the latest episode from me and Jake. So if you guys need this in audio format, this is the way to go. Ladies Night, Thursday night, we have Trey from the Terry and Trey Show and Sue York from Knicks Film School coming on to give us their insights on the squad. So that should be a good show also coming up. And we also got Tommy Beer coming up from Forbes Magazine. That's Saturday, March 9th, man. So the guests are lining up. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys one more time before you guys get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. KnicksFanTV, the Knicks Podcast, the Nick of Time Show. Definitely don't miss it. Once again, congratulations to Tack for winning the Knicks Fitted Cap. And a lot of you guys like the jacket. We'll get back to you on when the jacket will be released. But, yeah, man, great show, everybody. Rich Jim, great show. Frank Matos, thanks for the support. LeBron. Somebody sent me a super chat named LeBron. All right, nice name. Appreciate the donation. I appreciate that. Keith and Clear. Appreciate that. TM says Tommy Beer, the resident stat guy. Yeah, we're going to have Tommy on and get into how he comes up with those stats so quickly. Taz Breeze, I appreciate you. KR, thanks a lot. Stafford Don, bless up, brethren. Robin, congratulations to Spike Lee once again. And Jake, I'll talk to you, man. Good show, bro.
For sure. You too, man.
Yes, sir. Peace.